Thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Eric Dahl.
What's going on, Phil?
You're so esteemed over there.
I'm so esteemed. I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
I'm a scholar.
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm happy to be here. Training camp?
Is it in the books or is it not in the books?
Depends who you ask.
I think there's no light at the end of the tunnel, I think is what it is. Yeah.
Little
it's time
dark.
to work.
We live in the darkness.
I think Champagne must subscribe to our podcast because, you know, of course, we talk about our work ethic all the time, and it's probably motivated him.
Maybe he watched Batman or something.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
His Broncos are living in the darkness.
Yeah, and the only way to get out is to do it like the boy did.
Yep, no rope.
No rope.
No light.
Yeah, exactly. Were you born in the darkness or did you just adopt it?
You and I were born, of course.
Yeah, we were born.
Ben Swanson adopted it.
Yeah. He often uses light in his paintings, you know, like that's sort of a common motif.
I mean, light is everything.
Yeah, exactly. We should mention that Ben Swanson is here in studio.
You kind of just did.
Yeah, he's here with us.
What happened to my ISO shot?
No, we got rid of that.
You don't get an ISO.
You don't need an ISO shot.
Fine.
Do you want an ISO shot?
No, I don't want to have to talk that much in the podcast.
Eric, I think besides Champagne, another person likes to listen to the podcast too, right?
I think so. Our friend Russell Wilson.
Yeah. He must listen and subconsciously start thinking about painting.
About Ben Swanson.
About Ben Swanson in particular, because when he was at the podium the other day, he had this to say about how the offense is coming together throughout the course of camp.
Every day you learn a little bit more. You learn a little bit more about who we are, what we're trying to do, as a team, I think it's all coming together. It's all, the picture's all coming together. It takes time to paint a beautiful picture sometimes, and we're doing that all as one.
Swanson, he's painting a picture just like you.
It takes time to paint a beautiful picture.
Do you agree with him?
Of course.
Yeah. It takes time.
Awesome.
To get it perfection.
That's the first time Ben Swanson has heard that quote.
Yeah, I was asked not to listen to Russ's press conference the other day, so I could be surprised by this, and very good.
You were surprised.
Yeah.
He the next answer he going to talk about shading and
yeah, exactly. That takes a lot of time
perspective.
Too. Yep. It's kind of like when you draw
pastels,
converging lines. You know, like for the road that's going away from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
He talked about all that because someone followed up and said, "Well, what particularly about painting a beautiful picture takes so long?"
yeah, exactly.
Into the shading and the pastels.
Really to find your voice.
You got to choose a nice frame.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
But he must have either he was listening to the Neutral Zone or just maybe Swanson. Were you chatting with him away from the podcast?
I'm not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to do that. Maybe he saw you like in the corner with your
smock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went down to the cafeteria with my smock on.
Yeah, that was nice. You
that guy
pulled that
looks
out.
Cool.
Yeah.
He looks different.
Yeah.
Cool and different, or one?
Yeah.
Which one?
I think both.
Is that possible?
Can you be? For me? I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're either different or cool.
Hard to say.
Had the smock on, had the brushes.
If
you
he
carry
liked
the
it,
easel all the way down there?
No.
I think if he liked it, you were probably different.
Yes. Okay. I think that's...
Yeah, that's clear.
I knew that about myself.
So, but he must have painted that picture pretty quickly because this week, the offense...
That's a
came
transition,
together.
baby.
It came together nice. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch any of the Broncos daily recaps, one of them I said it's hot outside, and the offense was even hotter.
Wow, that's not that good.
I thought it was pretty good.
You think it was a paint by the numbers situation?
Bad endorsement.
Yeah, fast. Yeah, it was.
Well, more like you throw to the numbers.
All in the lines.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's out of the lines, out of bounds.
Not good. Yeah. So he kept them all in the lines, and
by the numbers,
he got it done. Yeah. Or have you seen those paintings where like if you zoom way in, it's just like a bunch of like different images, but then when you zoom all the way out,
oh yeah,
it's like a different thing. I forget what they call that. Swanson, you would know. What?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe he was doing some of
like
that
it's
too.
like a bunch of faces of people,
Yeah.
and like boom, it's Ronald McDonald.
Exactly. So if you zoom in, it's all the little touchdowns he threw. You zoom out, and it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, every touchdown, boom, it's Russ.
Yeah, exactly. It's Russ there. So maybe he was doing that.
Maybe it's like the Bronco.
Oh, yeah. So it could be nice.
You ever do one of those? They had these when I was a kid, so a couple decades after you, but it was like a poster board and there was felt on it, and you would kind of like color in the areas where there wasn't felt.
No.
They
Maybe
sold them
that's
in
like
an
a thing they
arts-
do in the South.
like an art store,
Oh.
like a Michaels, not a sponsor.
velvet painting.
And so then you color all around
You
the
would do it
felt?
with, like, you do it with like markers, but then like it would kind of look like it was a little bit raised with like some black felt.
Some texture.
You get like a tiger like in the jungle, and
Ah,
you'd color it in, but then like the darkness would be the black felt.
got it. And then you color in all around it.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, that's
I used
nice.
to like those.
I don't think that they
That'd be
didn't
like a
have
nice
that.
little treat to get one of those.
They had just invented the crayon when I was
Yeah.
yeah. When I was a kid.
Yeah. How many of those did you eat?
A lot. Too many. And then they went in my ear, you know.
Your parents were
on
like,
my
"Gosh, we
nose."
don't like this crayon invention.
yeah,
Phil won't stop
exactly.
eating them."
Yeah. Color on the walls, you
Yeah.
know, it's just, yeah. It was fun. It was a good time.
That's why your hair's so nice, because all the wax.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't use any product. It just comes out like this.
You still get
So
a crayon or two?
It's
or
famous. yeah, I'm
is it just
famous
kind
for
of
that. Yeah.
or is it all kind of left over?
Yeah.
You just
No,
kind of
no,
sunk
no.
in there?
It's stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of a permanent thing.
Yeah.
Doctors thought it would go away, but it never did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, yeah, on this episode, we'll talk about what we've seen this week and how that might translate into this game against the 49ers, Eric.
I like that.
You know, some issues the Broncos wanted to correct from that first game against the Cardinals, particularly protection. Eric, see if they can do a little bit better job this week. Starters should play, 25 snaps, right around there?
20 to 24.
24.
You don't want to go
24.
crazy.
One more would be insane. Javante, maybe a couple carries?
10 to 12, 3 to
Little
4
catch,
carries.
maybe a catch.
A catch, maybe a pass block.
Could be good.
Of course, it's worth noting that the Broncos starters played 20 snaps against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So not
And
really.
what he said 15.
Yeah, so maybe.
What
Those
makes you
might happen.
think? Yeah.
Well, he said 15 to 18. They played 20.
Okay, so they did two more than he
Two
said.
more. So maybe we get 26.
Yeah, that could be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
26 is pretty close to a half, right?
I think so. I think that you would want them to play about a half.
I mean, you
Give it
tend
a
to
flow.
play 60 to 70 football games in a that's not
I don't think you play games inside the game. Sometimes you do, though. Yeah, the game.
always
with it.
playing a game.
Are you playing 70 games inside one game? I don't know.
Well,
That's
if
a
you
lot of games.
view each play as its own game, one game at a time, boom.
That's true. That's
Kinda-
true.
That's a way to
You
focus.
kind of think about a play as a game.
yeah, each play is its own game.
Yeah.
You move on to the next game.
Yeah, exactly.
24-second rule.
Exactly. yeah,
Yeah.
you can't dwell on the past
No.
in this sort of game world.
But using kind of your normal
Normal talk.
nomenclature,
Yeah, 60 to 70,
60, 70 plays.
Yeah.
So if you play 24,
It's about a half. Some people like to even
Close.
go a little into the third.
oh yeah,
You know, that way you get that routine down. You know, you go into halftime, go through that process, and then go out for one more drive. But they might not do that. Maybe they will.
I mean maybe
Sort of a 50-50.
50-50 chance. Either
Yeah.
they will or they won't.
Yeah. So,
Those are the two options.
Yeah.
That's why you listen to the neutral zone.
exactly.
You learn
They
they're
might
either
do
going to
that.
play into the third quarter or they won't.
Yeah. Kind of just depends on how many games they play. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
true.
So we'll just talk a little bit ahead about this game, what's going to happen. And then, of course, we have joint practices coming up next week.
Ooh.
Yeah, the
spicy.
Rams. So that's like another, 80 games a day there. And so then, yeah, it's a lot. A
lot of games
A lot's
coming
going on, yeah. So
People think you only play 17 games in a
17,
season. That's not true. Not
Yeah.
how I look at it.
when you know the sport like we do, we know how many games. Yeah. So Eric, we'll get into that, but first, this is sort of an interactive show.
That's right.
Emphasis on the sort of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Some
Depends
people
who you
some people
ask.
aren't happy about how interactive it is, but Phil, there's many ways you can get in touch with the show. You can leave a voicemail at 707 neutral. I think we have one of those. You gonna play that at the end?
I think we could.
I didn't listen to it.
Swanson was supposed to listen to it, and then I was like, hey, how was that voicemail? And he was like, what are you talking about? I was painting. I was talking to Russ. I was like, what?
There's an email that we got from our friend John Jornan. You can leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com.
We still have that, huh?
We do.
Oh.
Swanson hasn't checked it in a few months.
Not true.
And the other way is you can go to the Broncos official YouTube page, find
That's
the
our favorite.
NZ, leave a comment, and we'll read it right here on the air.
We're going to do that right now.
Boom.
Quentin Caldwell, 4302. I did that good, didn't I?
Nice. I'm impressed.
I will preface all of this. A lot of Phil love this week. So don't get jealous, because sometimes I know that happens to you guys. Quentin Caldwell, 4302. Phil, what you explained about how a punt return is made perfect sense. I know what you're saying. I got you. Okay, last week I was talking about how the punt, when you're standing down there, it looks like it's coming to you, and then all of a sudden it looks like it's sort of curving away from you. You have to run up and get it.
Yep.
You, of course, did not know what I was talking about. But,
Correct.
But Quentin Caldwell does.
That's good.
Just so you know there. Dennis Murtha. Thank you, Phil, Eric, and Ben. Need more Ben. Looking forward to seeing this offense in game action. Go Broncos.
They're going to be very happy this week.
More Ben. A lot of Ben.
We don't get a lot of requests for more Ben.
No. That's a rare one there. J. Prez Bronk. Phil Kiper Jr. for president. Says that he likes seeing Ed McCaffrey and Jake Plummer do some of our shows.
We got to stop letting Phil pick the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm reading almost all of them here.
Jay Prez Bronk left a comment on the Broncos postgame show. Said I looked like a certified snack.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Thanks, Jay Prez Bronk.
When you do your field level hit?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the stadium.
State Farm
At the
Stadium.
game.
Let's go out to State Farm Stadium and check in with team reporter Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala.
Boom.
And you are just a snack out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Grontold better comments here and says, great job on the Hall of Fame interviews, Phil. Do either of you guys get starstruck when you're doing interviews? Eric, do you ever get a little start?
This one I'm talking to you.
I know. I was going to say, usually they get a little nervous around me. Like Peyton's like, hold on, give me a second, and just some breathing exercises. You know,
Just Phil.
Yeah,
Just Phil. It's okay.
It's just a normal person.
Well, 1.5.
1.5 normal people. Yeah, that's true.
But football players, they're like kind of 1.5 as well. So we're like all the same.
You and a football player, the same.
Pretty much the same.
That's
Yeah.
People have said that.
I will say, in terms of being starstruck, it's usually like players from like when I was a kid, you know, and then you see them and you're like,
Autogram.
oh my gosh. Yeah. That's true. When the forward pass was invented, like if I
That was crazy, huh?
Yeah. So
You, of course, we're going to have a whole segment on next week's show about Buddy Parker, since you, I think you were there in person for some of those games.
gosh, yeah. Congratulations to him, of course, but we're a little bit sad about Mike Shanahan, Dan Reeves. You know, those are two good options right there.
Two good options.
Yeah.
Tough. A lot of people deserving of the Hall of Fame.
Human person, another perfect show. Incredible.
Thanks, human person.
How do you think we do it? Yeah. Let's see here. Neutral Zone is the best friends show with Phil and Eric on air, saying that you're my everything with a glaring stare. Ben Swanson in the background on his Mac writing the stats down. Neutral Zone, it's either let's ride or you're killing this vibe.
I don't know what those words meant in that order, but I think it was nice.
That's Broncos fan from Connecticut.
Oh.
From CT.
Somebody wrote a mean comment about me, didn't they?
Well, some people, they just...
Somebody said something about a white shirt.
hold on a second. Yeah, the guy in the white shirt is not a vibe. The other two are sweethearts.
I was wearing a blue shirt, but it looked light on for the review. I went back and watched the tape.
Yeah.
They were talking about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't a vibe. You two were
Maybe
sweethearts.
that day you weren't. Maybe just that day you weren't. M. Heterol I think Phil needs a hug today. He's a sensitive creature.
It's true.
A sensitive creature. And then a couple of emails about Swanson. He made an owl noise last week.
A couple of emails?
A couple of comments here. Sorry. I got
Look who's
confused.
makes some mistakes
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I don't do. Why did he make an owl noise?
You told me
really
to.
don't.
I don't
He
know.
was painting an owl or something.
Barry McCocken 559. Why did Ben do a Santa Claus impression instead of an owl? I'm not sure.
I'll have to listen to the tape.
Paul Bedachek, do a screech owl. It's just a screech.
Swanson, that was crazy.
Bobby Hill III says Zach Stevens is a wannabe Phil Milani.
Oh, boy.
What do we think about that?
Oh, boy.
Our friend Zach Stevens. I
Spicy.
don't know. That one was spicy. Zach is a friend.
Yeah, of course.
Bobby Hill III.
One of our favorite local bar employees.
Yeah, he does. It's a great bar down there.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's a good bar employee
Well,
and a very funny laugh.
that's true. He does have Zach has a
Yeah.
good laugh.
Yeah. Somebody named John Jornad put in a comment here too. I'm not sure who that is, but says since emails are no longer read, I thought I would try here. Kicking is extremely important. That's why we lost the first preseason game. I'm afraid it is a preview of the regular season. What do you guys think about the kicking game?
You tossing that to us?
Yeah, what do you think about the kicking game? What do you think? How do you think that?
Well, I'm not entirely convinced that it didn't have something to do with the field, given how beat up the field looked between the hash
Slip and
marks.
slide.
And Prater missed one too, right?
yeah, which is sort of unheard of.
So I'm not entirely convinced it didn't have something to do with it.
They were long kicks.
We saw. I mean, Maher's was what 47. Was that the first one?
Yeah,
You're like, yeah, whatever, something like
it
that.
was a long, long ways away.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you're like, gosh, kicking the ball 100 yards, and then you're like, well, that'd be a nice little gap wedge for Swanson.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you think about like the golfing distances, and you're like, that, wow,
Yeah, because
like a 40-yard pass, long pass, 40-yard shot in golf.
short.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
chip.
yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
It's strange to think about that.
But the on a football podcast, huh?
yeah,
Kind of strange.
strange.
Maher made some big kicks in training camp in kind of a semi-pressure situation. Made a 59-yarder that would have been good from 60-something. They're going to keep looking at kickers, I'm sure.
It landed on the friends and family tent.
It did. Not on the not in the friends and family, just the tent.
It
Covering
landed on the tent.
yeah.
The friends
no
of-
friends or family were hurt.
The tent of
And
the
the-
friends and family.
No friends, family were harmed in the making of the kick.
We don't know that for sure, though. But
I think we do. I think we do.
It was not immediately apparent that there was an injury.
But I'm not concerned about the kicking game. And listen, I know that people love Brandon McManus, and certainly a friend of the show, somebody who was instrumental to Super Bowl 50.
BMAC?
Nice job on that.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Gary Kubiak did a nice job.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that if you look at the numbers, the stats, the cold, hard facts, McManus was not great last year. And I think ranked toward the bottom of the league in terms of made field goal percentage. And so whether it was with McManus or another kicker, they needed an upgrade. So I know there was just like an onslaught of reporters being like, somebody find Brandon McManus and tell him to come back. Listen, Brandon McManus, he made a lot of good kicks during his career. It was not at his best last year. And so no guarantee the Broncos would be in a better spot now.
That's true. It's hard, you mentioned the field. If the dirt is there, it's
What
hard.
could happen?
It's
What
hard.
could happen?
If you kick the dirt, it's hard to make.
True.
It's hard to make.
Messes up the whole
Makes it- yeah.
operation.
That's true.
Well, and
Let's give him a. Let's just see what happens.
One of them was blocked, right?
Yeah.
Pressure right up the middle.
I'll say this: in case of emergency, there's some break glass kickers that are still out there. There's a guy like Mason Crosby, go Buffs. He's still out there. So like, hey, let's just see what happens with these guys moving forward. Still 2 preseason games to go, and then if you need to, there's some veterans out there that might be serviceable.
Yeah, and
That's
listen,
sort of
if
how I
you're
think
scoring
about
tubs every drive, doesn't really matter.
Easy. Go for 2.
I do.
Doesn't matter.
John Giornati wrote an email,
He did right.
long email.
We do still read the emails.
He asserted that the kicker was the second most important player on the entire roster. I don't believe that.
Oh, wow.
Do you believe
You
that?
should have put that in his comment here because then I would have read that.
Do you believe that?
The second most important? I mean, I don't really like to get into rankings. You know, that's just me. I don't really do that.
What would some people say?
Some other people might say quarterback.
Well, that's one. John said that.
That's probably number one. Like the second most important player. Like if you remove the talent, just the position.
Yeah.
Maybe your edge rusher.
Edge rusher's important. I think
I would say
left tackle's important.
left tackle is important. Like your number one pass catcher, whoever that is, wide receiver or tight end, whoever that person
Corner.
is.
I mean, there's
Corner.
mean,
I
if
think
kicker
those
was
people
the most-
impact the games a little bit
if kicker
more.
was the most important, you would take a kicker in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing about being a kicker is that like you're just expected to make all your kicks. And like, so when you don't do that, people are like, what the heck are you doing?
I'll give you this, John. The kicker is more important than long snapper.
Oh, jeez. What's the least valuable position out on the field? Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Who is here that shouldn't be?
Team reporters.
Yeah. I could probably, you think you could long snap?
No.
No.
You ever tried that? Well, first of all, you would not be able to bend into the position to snap a football.
Yeah. It would hurt.
collapse.
It would hurt. Yeah. The hamstrings, it just all wouldn't. It's not all working together. Yeah.
Correct.
Do you watch Hard Knocks a little bit or no?
I watched the first episode. I haven't seen this week.
Aaron Rodgers was talking about how he likes the ball to come back and he wants it sort of just a dead ball. He doesn't want a spiral.
Oh, yeah.
Back. Of course, in a long snap, you spiral the ball.
You what it?
You spiral the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's two hands, and you kind of have like.
Yeah. Speed. You want it back to speed.
You like
Is
his
important.
little.
The smoking.
The
Yeah,
smoking.
that was interesting. Oh, the smoking thing. I saw they did that. Yeah, that I don't.
Don't smoke, kids.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that. But
You
apparently, he
hear me,
also picks up
Swanson?
the grass and kind of like rubs it in his hands.
Oh.
Like almost kind of like gladiator
Texture?
style. Yeah.
You trying to get like a little grip on the ball?
He said that he used to just do that in Green Bay when it was really cold. I don't know.
So all the time.
Yeah, now he does it all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now he does it all the time. Last comment here is from Brian Wolftop. Y'all are so funny. I don't pay much attention to the preseason. Should this season be different? And yes, I updated my name after I saw you say my name online.
What is it now? Brian Wolftop?
Yeah, it's Brian Wolftop, but who knows how I said it before. My apologies, Brian.
Who knows
but
what
yes.
it was? What was the question?
Should you be paying attention to the preseason? Normally, Brian does not pay attention. He just goes right in. He just waits until September the 10th.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think that if you're hankering for some football, you're jonesing for some football.
Yeah.
There's no shame or harm in watching the preseason or paying attention, or you'll probably know a little bit more about the team going in. But I certainly understand people who are like, I'm going to dial in week one and I'm going to learn, who the starters are and who the important players are and what's going on. And
maybe you catch a half. Maybe you catch a half this week.
I mean, just put it
That's
on in
what
the
I do.
background.
Yeah, yeah.
Have some people over. Maybe it's not the
Ooh,
reason
that's
they're
nice.
over, but it's on.
It's on. It's just there.
It's
It's
Saturday
available.
night. You're
it's
feeling
available.
all right.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have like a fever for Saturday
You
night? Or
could.
no?
Maybe you have a little Breckenridge bourbon in your cup.
Oh, not the beer, just the bourbon.
Correct. Breckenridge bourbon, not the beer.
Not the beer. We don't do the beer. Just the bourbon.
Is that what typically, like at a bar, you're like, could I do the bourbon? And you're like, not the beir.
They get confused. They're like, what do you want? And I was like, the bourbon.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens to me.
That could happen.
Yeah. Dang, I was going to say something else, but I forgot it.
Something about Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, it was like another joke there, but I didn't have it. I don't have it right now. I had it, but now I don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I think you watched the half of this game. The final game is like not it.
And what was our friend's name? Sorry.
Brian Wolftop. What? Is that funny?
Yeah, the way you said it was.
Wolftop. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say this, Brian Wolftop. You don't have to watch the preseason, but you gotta dial into the neutral zone at all times.
Yeah. There you go. You don't need to watch the games. You just listen to this podcast and you know exactly
We'll
what's
get you
happening.
right.
Yeah, we'll get you going.
Yeah.
So, and with that, Eric, let's get into our first topic.
And only topic.
Yeah, and really, it's the most important thing we'll talk about today, and that is what to expect from this team. What do you want to see from the starters against the 49ers?
Yeah.
And the backups. Starters and backups, really the whole team.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Those are the options,
Yeah.
right? The starters
Yeah.
and the non-starters.
And then the backups.
Yeah, I like to call them non-starters.
Backups is sort of a
derogatory.
yeah. You know,
Reserve
sorry.
players.
Reserve.
Yeah. You wouldn't call
Depth
Swanson
pieces.
a backup
Depth
podcast
pieces.
host, right?
No, he's a starter. Yeah.
He's not here very much to be
If there was a starting lineup, he
I'm
would
like
be
the return
announced.
specialist.
He's kind of like a nickel,
starter, I
right?
guess.
Yeah, it's like if they opened in a weird defensive package and then he was
Swanson's out
he's listed as a starter.
Exactly. They're like, they're in dime again.
Yeah.
Swanson's
Weird.
out there.
A wildcat.
Yeah.
Somebody say Wildcats?
Ooh. Cats guy.
Well, there's a lot I want to see, but I'll start with protection. I think that's a good one because I know there's been a lot of chitty chatter from fans about the offensive line and how that unit looked.
Sean Payton said it too.
That's true. That's
Yep.
true. So did Joe Lombardi. And I thought what he said stuck with me the most, which was that guys in live action kind of reverted to what they had previously been doing or previously been coached to do.
Oh,
Had you heard that?
interesting. No, I missed that. I must have been busy doing some R stuff,
Getting some content.
some scoops.
But I thought that was interesting that obviously you got a new line coach in here in Zach Streif. You've got a new system. Guys, whether they were in Denver, like a Garrett Bowles, or a Ben Powers, for example, who was in Baltimore, maybe they're reverting back a little bit when you get into live action.
You go back to what you trust, what you
Exactly.
know.
It's kind of like golf swing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
On the
when
range, you
pressure.
try all these things out, and then you go out on the course and you fall back into what
Yeah.
you know. So for you, that's on the range. You're like,
Bombing
gosh.
it.
Well, no. It's the opposite. On the range, you're trying to let's dial back the distance. Let's only hit it 350.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you go out on the course and you revert back to 400 yards.
Yeah,
and
driving the
sometimes-
green.
Yeah, sometimes you overshoot it. It's a 375-yard hole.
Yeah, a little
It's
too
in the-
much.
It's in the woods behind
A
you.
little too much.
So
I got to dial it down. I'm working on
trying to do too much.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that was interesting from a line standpoint. They've got to be better. Got to protect Russ. I didn't think the run game was. Sean Payton did mention he thought that they would want some plays back in the run game, but obviously passing plays are easier to see. Kind of the breakdowns. Need to give Russ a little bit more time. And listen, with Bowles, who I think took maybe most of the fan heat, it's his first game in
Yeah.
a long time, almost a year. And so you hope with him it's just knocking the rust off, getting some snaps out there, figuring it out, and that he'll come back this week better than he was last week.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to overreacting to preseason games. That's not something that I personally subscribe to. I don't do that. I just sort of say, let's pay attention to this, but I don't sort of overreact to it. Some people out there, they overreact.
You just react.
But I do a nice normal amount of reaction. And so, do I think that maybe it was a little bit rare to see how much Arizona was coming after Russ instead of just saying, hey, I want to get some nice evaluation going here? Yeah, maybe that was a little bit, you talk to our friend Big Al. He was like, that was unsportsmanlike is what he said.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so maybe that was a little bit of a surprise for them. We know that San Francisco is a very physical team. They like to get after the quarterback. So this will be another good test for this offensive line. And there's been a lot of talk about the offensive line this whole offseason. When arguably the two biggest free agents they brought in were on the offensive line, and after Russell Wilson was sacked 55 times last year, there's going to be a lot of attention and a lot of pressure on that unit this season. So I think that after that first game, it makes sense to be like, did some of these things not get corrected? Let's just see what happens here. Maybe they reverted back to some of the old habits, that kind of thing. So let's just see what happens here as they move forward.
Yeah, and listen, there's a reason why teams don't blitz every single snap, right? Because if you do that and you don't get to the quarterback, you get burnt. And so if teams do blitz the Broncos, I'm sure Sean Payton will find ways to get the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands quickly, find these hot routes, make adjustments, that sort of thing. That's a game planning sort of situation. I mean, nobody's going to hold up when you're bringing more rushers than you have blockers, but there were times when a guy was just beat one-on-one, and you hope to see that improve. And you're right, 15 to 20 snaps is not enough to just say, well, they didn't fix the offensive line.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the thing I'm probably most interested in seeing this week is Javonte.
Yep.
expected to get a few carries here, maybe get a catch, and then call it a night here. Broncos are going to be smart with him, but I imagine that for Javonte, getting over that mental hurdle of playing in live action, getting tackled, having people coming after your legs to take you down, this is going to be a good first step for him in his return to getting back to some real football.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last chance he'll probably get before the opener, because it sounds like, based on what Sean Payton has said, that they won't have starters do a whole lot, if anything, in that Rams game. So
Yep.
A chance for Javonte to get out there, get hit a couple of times, show what he's about.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to expect anything crazy. Like, doubt he's going to go for 80 yards on 3 carries, but just get used to getting
knock
hit
the
again.
rust off.
Exactly, and build some of that. He's talked that he kind of believes himself that he is okay now, but I think doing it in a game is the next step there, and I'm excited to see what he looks like. I mean, I'm not going to freak out either way. Like, if he has 3 carries for 6 yards, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, Javonte's.
No, you just want him to be healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's
Right.
sort of what you're mostly just seeing. Yeah. See him get up for that first time, see him just settle into the game a little bit. Interesting to mention catching the pass. I think that's going to be a big part of this offense is
of course.
Getting guys open in like some non-traditional ways, kind of like the spelling of our names.
That's true.
Screen game, just, dump off, skinning these playmakers, these jokers, as Sean Payton likes to say, getting them the ball in space.
Yeah, Javonte's certainly capable of that. Another guy that's going to be catching the passes, Phil, Marvin Mims.
Ooh, he's going to be playing on.
Going to make his preseason debut.
Yeah.
He's got the speed element that I think changes the Broncos offense a little bit, gives you a chance to do some special things. We know what KJ Hamler was able to do with his speed when healthy. Marvin's built a little bit bigger, I think maybe a little sturdier. And he's battled some hamstring injuries, but excited to see him out there and what he can do, the ways that the Broncos can use him. Again, I don't think we'll see it necessarily against San Francisco entirely, but some of these guys like a Dulcich, a Mims, a Judy, I'm excited to see how Sean uses them, because from week to week, he could look at this guy and be like, he's a mismatch problem for what this defense has.
Yeah.
And should be fun to watch in terms of how he uses those guys.
When he talked to the media for the first time since rookie minicamp this week. When he talks, he doesn't carry himself like a rookie. Yeah, I would say. What do you think? Like, just the way he was answering questions, like he was very comfortable. Like he made some jokes. Like he didn't get baited into anything that he shouldn't have been talking about. Was very respectful to Tim Patrick's injury. I was like, dang, this guy seems very comfortable, very mature, like a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he went to a big time school, right?
Yeah.
So
and he was a big time high school player.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he handled his press well, but I mean,
that was impressive. I thought.
When you come from a big program, I think you're a little bit
more ready for
used
that.
to that.
But certainly, there's a big opportunity for him this season. I mean, if he could get this playbook down really solidly, I think that he's got all the physical tools that you need to make a big difference out there. And after Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, he could be that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
That dude. So.
Yeah.
And then he's returning. He's doing the returns too. So there's a lot of different ways that Marvin Mims could make an impact this season as a rookie.
Yeah, and it's all with Sean. It's all about the vision, as he talks about, right, and what they
want to use them, how they use them,
what they can do with you that highlights your skill set instead of here's the offense, let's fit you into this.
Yeah,
and so
make it for him.
There might be weeks where it's Greg Dulcich. It might be weeks where it's Marvin Mims, or it could just be, hey, Marvin Mims only plays X number of snaps, but when he's out there, they take advantage of those snaps, right?
Yeah.
And so he's got a great skill set. The speed, you just can't teach it.
You can't teach that kind of speed, no.
And so,
I mean, you could talk about it. You could put it up on some PowerPoints. You could try to describe it, but you can't.
Can't teach it.
You cannot teach it, no.
No.
And when he's out there running, does it look like there's any traffic around him or?
No, I would say it kind of looks like our video page.
Oh, what's that?
No traffic.
Oh, I was going to say there's a lot of views. Yeah, there are a lot of fans viewing him out there. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's more like if we had to come into work on like a Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
And then that's sort of a commute.
What do you mean?
That's what.
Come
like if
into
you're
work.
Yeah, some of us don't live underneath our desk.
Oh yeah. Because if you don't leave, you can't come in.
You don't have a commute.
Right.
Your commute is just like from getting out from
Under the
underneath the
desk
desk up to
into my
your
chair.
to the chair. Yeah. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff in the way. Take some extra.
There's more room under Swanson's standing desk, but sometimes I like to be a little
That's his second
cozier.
desk. He's got two desks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And
One
then
to
the
stand.
easel.
Yeah,
the easel.
where's the easel?
It's in the corner. You know that.
A lot of people standing desks, they can like go up and then down. He just has two desks, one for sitting and one standing. Yeah.
Not very
He didn't like the up and down.
eco-friendly.
No. Huge office too. It's like it was insane.
Gigantic.
It's insane. Yeah. Anything else? Maybe something on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Some of the younger guys in the secondary maybe gonna get a chance. I think that this week.
Yeah. I mean that. Sure, that's fun.
Let's get the more important stuff first. Yeah.
Well,
we'll talk about that later.
You brought up an idea
let's
and then
talk about
tossed
it
it to
later.
me. Like if
Let's
you want to
talk
talk about the
later.
young secondary,
Sorry,
talk about the young
anything else?
secondary. No, talk about the secondary.
No.
Go for it.
That's not as important as maybe some other things. So we'll talk about them later.
I think the tackling as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Vance Joseph talked about how that wasn't as good as he wanted it to be. Need to clean those things up. There were times he said the team got pushed around a little bit, so need to make that better because didn't give up any points against the Cardinals, but they moved the ball a little bit, too many third and shorts. As Vance Joseph said, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
When you get to the regular season,
I think that's why you have these guys play in the preseason.
Yeah.
They
got some rust.
It takes time to get out from the practice field where you're just sort of doing a thud up.
Yep.
Than to like actually tackling a guy. Steve Atwater, the Hall of Famer, he talks about there's something in your brain that sort of has a click to go from like just practicing and going through that tempo to getting out onto a game field and running full speed and taking a guy out.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's why these guys play in the preseason. And tackling is always going to be sort of a work in progress through the preseason and even the first couple of weeks, I imagine, of the year. So
I'd like to talk about the young cornerbacks.
Oh, really?
What do you think about those guys?
Well, I just think that during practice we've seen a lot of guys come in and out of there. Of course, Justin Simmons has been working through some injury stuff. We saw PJ Locke get carted off this week. Caden Stearns had a nice little
all
day.
Defensive backs, not just corners.
Yeah, I'm talking about the secondary. I said secondary earlier.
Sorry, I
yeah,
was wrong.
Thank you. So, there's been some guys like just sort of working in and out of the different units and stuff and getting a look at these guys. I think there's like an opportunity here for, some of these younger players, Delarin Turner-Yell, maybe there's an opportunity there. We saw Usain Bassi have an interception that first week. What's he able to do this time around? A guy like J.L. Skinner, want to get a closer look at him a little bit. So I think there's some young guys there that are going to play some reps in this game, and then we're going to have a better idea of what kind of player they are.
Yeah, these guys need to, not just the secondary, but the young guys need to flash a little bit, right? Sean Payton's talked about, hey, I think he said it's advocating for yourself, right? You need to have advocating plays. If you're an undrafted guy trying to make this team, go score a touchdown.
Yeah,
go block a punt.
Something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go pick off a pass, force a fumble. Those sorts of things make it harder to leave you off the roster when the team knows, hey, they can make plays, they can change a game for us. And there's several undrafted guys, Phil, that I think could have a shot at this roster. And so, can they take their success from game one into game two? Can they keep it going and really fight for a roster spot?
I think one thing that can tend to happen, especially later in camp and at this point in the year, is like these guys, you kind of get into your routine a little bit. Like this is how I approach practice. This is what I do. And so you just kind of go out there and you do the same thing. And then maybe the next day you do the same thing and you just kind of get used to this routine where in reality, maybe some of these days you got to go a little bit harder. You got to push yourself a little bit further and do something a little bit more and pop shine a little bit, and then that's how you create some separation, But I think it's easy to fall into that routine and just sort of some normalness. No, you got to be uncommon. See what I did? See what I did?
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Yeah, you got all of those things. You got to be the whole Rice Krispie.
Not a sponsor.
No, but could be if they wanted to be. I think. Do we do that?
I don't know if we have an official marshmallow treat.
Yeah, well, it could be just a cereal. Well, see, a Snap, Crackle, and Pop,
Apologies.
the treat does not really do any of those things. But when you pour the cereal into a bowl and add milk, then it starts to do those things. Yeah, the marshmallow does not really affect the Rice Krispie the same way that, say, milk does.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's the details.
Spin facts.
Yeah, it's the details here. So I think those are the things I'm looking for.
Yeah, make some kicks. I think that'll be good.
Make some kicks too. Yeah. I thought for sure at the end of that Arizona game, it was going to be like, go out there and make a game-winning field goal.
2 seconds left?
I thought that was going to happen in that game. But of course, the Broncos scored a touchdown, and then Arizona got the ball and went down and did what they did. I was thinking that instead of scoring the touchdown, enough time was going to expire where somebody was going to have to run out there and try and make a game-winning kick there.
Well, if they had one timeout or 0, they would have done that. 2 timeouts, as Sean Payton explained.
Correct.
No.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought maybe they would that's how it would have unfolded. So I was like, here we go. Somebody's going to do something.
Swanson, you want to share anything about like something you thought one time might happen and then it didn't happen? That's compelling content in my mind.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was just, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
Those
then,
are kind of
I
those
was like,
compelling things.
I was like, let me bring this up on the podcast.
Nope.
No. Okay. Got it. Nope. Thank you, Swanson. Anything you want to get to here before? I think we have an email or a voicemail.
Oh, do we have time for the voicemail?
Do we have time or no?
Maybe we push it.
Oh, for next week?
Could
Okay, let's
be.
do next week.
Sorry,
let's
Tom.
do next week.
It's from
I
Tom,
believe
right?
it was from Mr. Agnetti.
It is.
Swanson doesn't know how to wear a watch. He's just kind of holding it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know why he's doing that.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So, okay, well, we'll push that to next week.
Okay.
Hopefully it still makes sense.
Maybe it will. Maybe it won't.
How would you think that it would have gone? Just like, let's just see, like, just for, okay, and now we got an email from one of our biggest fans. Gentlemen.
This is Tom Agnetti.
Yeah.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Big game
I don't
for
know if
the
he's still in
Broncos.
Delaware.
Oh, did he move?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
But
sorry,
we'll have to see. But I do know that he likes to listen to the podcast, have lunch on a Friday. I think this is sort of what he likes to do. Yeah. So
He probably would have
We're
roasted
here.
Swanson a little bit.
Tom, hello. I hope that you're having a nice lunch.
Yeah. Well, let's just call Tom right now.
Tom, you're on the air. Gentlemen. Yeah. So Tom will get to it next
Okay,
time. We
perfect.
promise. Okay, any shout outs before you say goodbye here?
I got 2. Can I do 2?
Yeah.
Okay. A shout out to Peyton Manning.
Returning back to his alma mater.
He's going to be thrilled.
Prof Manning.
Prof Manning.
Prof Manning.
He's a teacher. He's a prof.
He's a Hoff and a prof.
Yeah, that class is going to fill up quickly.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
I would have gone to that
All
class.
the
in college.
upperclassmen. Oh, yeah, because you typically did not go to class.
Discussion
But
sections.
you would have gone to that
I
one.
would have been there.
What if it's just a Zoom? Do we know if it's in person or a
I don't
Zoom?
know. I would think. I bet it's once a week, 3 hours. Like a 6 to 9,
That was your
or a 5 to 8, something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they do with like some of these adjunct guest professors. 3 hours once a week.
3
Well,
hours.
Yeah. What would he say about
That's
it? Like
about the time of a football game.
it's a communications class, right? Cut his mic. Cut it. Just cut it.
He's gone.
That's
And
a.
Swanson's gone.
It's a communications class, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What kind of things do you think you would tell them?
Omaha.
Yeah. He's like,
Omaha.
he's like, what's nice is if you can get your brother on a show with you, and then
That's really nice.
it can be like a sort of a simulcast.
Yep.
And then he's like, and then that's how you do it. That's how you make good
You
TV.
go to places,
Yeah,
and then they're yours.
And they name them after you.
they're your places.
Yeah, those are nice things to do. I think.
So shout out to Peyton.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is of course, you're a huge Tennessee fan, so
Sure. Peyton.
that's gonna be nice. Okay.
And, well, the other one, I just shout out to our lovely city, Denver, hosting the U.S. Amateur this week.
oh, that's right. Shout out to all the amateurs competing in the amateur.
I love the word amateur.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's not amateur,
No.
amateur.
Correct.
Yeah.
And over at Cherry Hills is where the final few rounds are.
Yeah.
We're
At
headed there
Castle
right,
Pines,
we're
right?
headed there right after this. No, it's
Yeah.
not Castle Pines, but can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I
where it
thought
is.
those were the 2 courses. Of course, 2 courses. They're playing a lot of golf.
A lot of golf.
Yeah. It kind of screwed up our weekend plans. You know, we usually get in 36
That's
over
right.
there at Cherry Hills. It's kind of screwed it up this week. How about it? Oh, did you get it or
Maybe,
not?
maybe
Not
the
yet.
winner,
I was going to also
maybe
say
the winner will get to play one of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Colorado Golf Club is the other one.
Colorado Golf Club. Got it.
In Cherry Hills.
And Cherry Hills.
Yes.
It's a nice course. That's our course. That's our home
That's
course.
our home course. Yeah, you of course
Yeah.
are a member.
What do you think? 15 is going to be interesting. What
Yeah,
they do
I
out
think
there.
so. Yeah, and what can they drive it on one?
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
the pressure right
Swanson,
there.
what do you
know.
think?
Yeah.
There's an island green at Cherry Hills apparently, right? 17.
Yeah, of course
I think?
there is. Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Apparently.
Well, I was saying apparently because the rest of the people can know now.
Oh,
Previously,
got
we
it.
weren't supposed to talk
We're
about
not
it.
supposed to really talk about it. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. You know, the longest drive in golf is from the driving range to the first tee box.
Oh, didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about when you're looking for your ball?
It's easy to find in the fairway, I'll tell you. Really pops.
The other one, huh?
Yeah, snap, crackles, and pops out there in the fairway. Yeah.
The marshmallow.
Well, yeah, it's like a nice little Rice Krispie treat out there. And also shout out to Liz Gerald.
Of course.
Do you think next week we're going to see our friend Ramon Sazon? You
It's possible, yeah, maybe.
Maybe he'll call
Next
in.
week.
Yeah.
Joint practices.
Before we say goodbye, real quickly here, when the weather is really hot outside,
Oh, my
as it
gosh.
has been, okay, Swanson, let's
I'm
get your.
listening.
If it's really hot, do you like to dress for what the weather's like outside, or hey, you know that you're in air conditioning, you're blocking my shot? Do you know that you're in air conditioning?
Running along here.
How do you dress in that situation? Do you dress more for what the weather of the season is, or do you say, hey, I'm going to be inside, I'm going to be in the air conditioning, I'm going to dress for that?
Probably mostly outside.
Yeah. Like when it's in the middle of winter, I'm not like, oh, here's a nice like Broncos polo. No, I'm like, it's freezing outside.
Sometimes I'll adjust based, like if the temperature differential is pretty big, like if I'm shooting practice in January or something, and you can always throw a jacket on,
That's true.
change your clothes. But for the most part, I'm dressing for
The season.
outdoors.
Eric, you agree, of course.
Good content right
Yeah,
here.
of course you
And
agree.
just for the
huge.
job I
You
want,
do the
Phil.
QZ at all times.
Swanson puts one flannel on over his other flannel.
You can always put on more
Flannel
flannels.
season. That's true. That's true. Okay, well, I think we've run a little bit long here. So hopefully
along
you
now.
enjoyed. I hope that you have enjoyed this. We'll see what happens in the game.
Can't wait.
And then next week, we'll be back after some joint practices with
Love
the
it.
Rams coming to town. That's going to do it for us. For Ben Swanson and Eric Dalala, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.